All you Grid Crips up there popping it for Big U. Y'all was riding down for Big U. My son got killed. Nigga, why you niggas ain't sliding, bro?
When they raided my houses and my property, it was actually about whack. Whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all foul. All y'all who be sending shit around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what these niggas saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this fuck shit.
Big U was one of the most feared Crips on the entire West Coast, but now he's wrapped up in a serious case and his own son just lost his life under mysterious circumstances. Rumors online started spinning fast, with some people claiming Big U had something to do with what happened to his son. And today, we're breaking down this wild situation piece by piece. On Halloween night 2025, Big U's son Jabari, better known as Baby U, was discovered at the intersection of 69th and Fig in South LA, and the whole scene had the neighborhood buzzing. Baby U had stopped at a smoke shop in that area, but things went bad right after he walked up to someone's whip, and the situation took a sharp turn that nobody saw coming.
Big U had Nipsey Hussle killed. Everybody know that.
I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
No one knows who was responsible yet, but people in the area told police that Baby U walked straight up to the person inside that whip like he knew them, and that's when everything went sideways. Witnesses say he approached calmly, then chaos broke out in seconds, which made the whole thing feel way more personal than random. Baby U grew up around dangerous situations his whole life. He was born in 1991, and that same year, his dad Big U got sent away for a long stretch. Big U was tied to the Rollin 60 Crips, and he got caught up after trying to take a huge load of product from an undercover cop. With Big U locked up, Baby U spent most of his early years with his uncle Dwayne, who tried to guide him the best he could.
Man, we just had some super sad news coming out of Los Angeles. It was just reported yesterday that Big U's son, Baby Huey, unfortunately lost his life in the streets of Los Angeles on the night of Halloween.
Uncle Dwayne was plugged in with a lot of big West Coast rappers, and those connections allegedly put him in danger too. When Baby U was only 7 years old, Dwayne was outside a recording studio, while Snoop Dogg's homie Kurupt was in the booth working. Then out of nowhere, a car pulled up and a group confronted Dwayne, leaving him lying on the ground at the scene. The whole neighborhood talked about that moment for years because it changed everything for Baby U's family. UI was juggling both worlds. He played football, stayed in school, and still moved around in the streets at the same time. He had real talent too, but he never got the chance to take it all the way. Back at Crenshaw, he went by J Bars and tried rapping a little, but he wasn't locked in yet, and music wasn't his main focus. Then everything changed when he got locked up. Huey started writing non-stop while he was inside, filling up pages every day like he finally found his voice. When he came home, he hit the booth with full energy and switched his name to Huey Popcorn, ready to turn the heat up.
My nephew, TD, I was looking for artists. TD told me to go get Nip. I went seek Nipped out of all the people I already been interviewing and talking to, and he was the shining light. He was the diamond in a pile of whatever.
He linked with major names like Sean Kingston and Chris Brown, and for a minute it looked like he was about to blow up. But the streets always pulled him back in, and the music never got the big push it needed to take off the way he hoped.
And I'm on a phone, he FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, sick, so I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. But after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
Big U had also been gone for 13 years, and during that time, he stayed in a lot of conflicts, earning a reputation for being extremely aggressive. One story even claims he hit a man so hard the guy's eye came out of place, which had people talking about Big U's strength for years. When Big U came home in 2004, he launched a charity called Developing Options and said it was built to help young people avoid trouble and find better paths. But according to police reports, the charity was actually being used as a cover for Big U and his close circle to run money behind the scenes. When Baby Huey got out, he started working for the charity too, but rumors say he and Big U were allegedly pocketing money instead of putting it back into the community. Developing Options was getting funds from everywhere. The GRYD program was giving them around $500,000 a year starting in 2015, and they were even getting donations from athletes like Draymond Green and Shaq.
Big U's name protected Jabari. I can stand on that whatever went on with him had zero to do with Big U or any backlash.
But Big U's money moves didn't stop at athletes. He had a whole network in motion, and people were starting to pay attention. Big U wasn't just collecting money, he was allegedly sending his people out to confront anyone who crossed him. According to federal files, boxer Adrian Broner set up a dice game in LA back in 2019 and invited a bunch of NBA players to slide through, but the dice Broner brought were allegedly rigged, and he walked away with millions from those players, leaving everybody heated. When Big U heard about this setup, he allegedly sent his crew to press both Andrew and Broner because Broner didn't cut him in on the winnings. Word is Big U managed to get the money back that Broner took from the NBA stars, but then he allegedly charged each player $100K before handing their own cash back to them. People said that move had everyone realizing just how much control Big U held over the scene.
Big U had Nipsey Hussle killed. Everybody know that. Everybody know Big U, Nip called that hit. They was really jealous of Nipsey Hussle, homie. All the big homies in the set was jealous of Nip because all the young love Nip. So Nip had got bigger than the set, cuz. Ain't nobody bigger than the set.
Baby Huey was allegedly out there helping his dad keep everything moving in the trenches, while his brother Dion chose a completely different path. Baby Huey's football dreams faded early because he kept getting locked up, but Dion stayed focused, kept his record clean, and eventually made it to the NFL as a linebacker for the LA Chargers. When Baby Huey lost his life the way he did, it hit Dion harder than anyone expected. But less than a week later, he went out on the field and had one of the wildest games of his career. 7 tackles, a sack, and a clutch pass deflection that sealed the win against the Tennessee Titans. Fans were shocked at how he played through that pain. After the game, Dion opened up in an emotional interview saying he wished he could talk to his brother just one more time. He said this was the hardest year of his life. He lost his brother, and his dad is now facing a life.
600 and Big U were beefing before Big U got locked up.
The situation gets even deeper because according to police reports, Big U is being accused of taking part in a violent situation involving rapper Rayshawn Williams in Vegas, with investigators claiming he left the man out in the desert after the incident. This connection dragged Dion's name into the paperwork too, making the whole case even heavier for the family.
But also, something else that didn't make sense to me, the hit didn't make sense to me because who takes his girl on a hit? And who goes, if you're going to go do a hit, if it is a hit, if you're going to go do a hit, who goes to confront the guy? He already know, I'm finna do this dude. Who goes to confront the guy, leave, and then come back?
The argument is actually pretty logical if you break it down.
Rayshawn wasn't just some random rapper Big U had problems with. This was someone who grew up right next to Big U's own son, Dion, and was one of his closest friends. Big U coached Rayshawn in football when he was a kid, and at one point, Rayshawn even lived in Big U's house during high school, so their history ran deep. But according to the indictment, things went sideways after Rayshawn wore one of Dion's chains to school without asking, and Big U kicked him out of the house because of it. That moment created tension that never fully went away. A few years later, Big U signed Rayshawn to his unique music label, trying to give him a real chance in the industry. But even then, there were rumors that issues were still bubbling behind the scenes. Rayshawn allegedly dissed Big U on a track, and in the song, he rapped about how he was going to get himself shot in the face because he was dissing Big U. Those were Rayshawn's own words in the song, and 5 days later, something terrible happened to him that shook everyone who knew him. Big U's label had flown Rayshawn out to Vegas so he could lock in, hit the studio daily, and build up a catalog of new music. But when Rayshawn skipped a studio session, Big U supposedly got heated about it and felt disrespected. That's when Big U and his homie Sylvester Robinson allegedly drove out to Vegas to confront him. Nobody knows exactly what went down after they arrived, but police believe Big U took Rayshawn out to the desert, harmed him, and left him there in a remote spot. Investigators claim Big U and Rayshawn were at the studio together the same night everything happened. They reportedly left in Big U's whip, and that's where the police think the situation turned dangerous. A few hours later, Big U allegedly returned to the studio and tried to get rid of the security footage, which made investigators even more suspicious of him. Rayshawn was connected to the Rollin 60s, and some people now think Baby Huey's situation might have been retaliation tied to what happened to Rayshawn.
And believe me, like I say, this case was investigated by the highest level of the branch. That man got a letter from the president.
Well, I know for a fact if they could get you, they'd get you.
And they
if they thought for a second that you had something to do with it and they could prove it, you out of here.
Turning everything into a heavy street rumor, full of tension and unanswered questions. Rayshawn lost his life back in 2021, but now Big U is locked up and can't move around to find out who targeted his son, which makes everything feel even more tense. Whack 100 actually knew Baby Huey personally, and he said he doesn't believe what happened to Baby Huey was connected to Big U's ongoing case at all, which threw people off because the streets were already filled with theories. But here's the strange part. Baby Huey was taken out right outside a weed shop, and Big U had a reputation in LA for being deeply involved in the dispensary world. One guy who ran a weed shop told investigators that Big U was charging him $25,000 a month for protection, and when the man missed a payment, Big U allegedly sent people to hit the shop and take everything. That story alone had people looking at the whole situation differently. After that, the same dispensary owner ended up helping Big U set up more robberies at other shops, trying to stay in his good graces. Then Big U's homie Loose Cannon went on No Jumper and started talking way too much about those weed shop situations, basically exposing himself on camera. He also talked about him and Big U allegedly pressing a rapper for $50,000, which made the whole thing look even messier. Big U and his circle were rumored to be robbing, extorting, and confronting people all around LA. And some people claim Baby Huey was tied into a lot of that as well. Even though Baby Huey's name wasn't listed in the indictment Big U is fighting right now, sources say he had been running with Big U ever since he came home from jail, always moving in the same circles. There's no solid evidence yet, but street rumors claim Baby Huey losing his life outside that smoke shop might have been connected to him extraordinary, meaning he was stepping into territories where people wanted payback. Nothing is confirmed, but the whispers around LA haven't slowed down for a second. What really threw everyone off is how fast the streets started turning quiet after Baby Huey's situation. Almost like people were scared to even whisper about it. Big U's crew used to move heavy across LA, but the moment he got locked up, everything around him started cracking open in ways nobody expected. Police began digging into old cases, old rivalries, old money beefs, and suddenly all kinds of names started popping back up in paperwork. People who once acted loyal were now nervous, and folks online started saying that whoever took out Baby Huey must have known exactly how close the family was to collapsing. Meanwhile, detectives started pressing everyone connected to the weed shops, the charity, the music label, anything tied to Big U's past moves. Several people claimed privately that Big U had too many enemies and too many old debts, and that once he got locked up, folks who were scared before finally felt bold enough to try something. Some insiders even said Baby Huey was getting into situations on his own, moving without checking in, which made things even more unpredictable. One person close to the scene said that Baby Huey had started telling people, "I'm doing my own thing now," and that rubbed certain crews the wrong way. Others believed someone was trying to send a message directly to Big U, picking the one person he cared about most to get under his skin while he sat behind bars unable to react. Some LA OGs even said, if you can't reach the general, you go after the soldier. And that's exactly why the whole city felt uneasy. No matter what theory you believe, one thing is clear. Baby Huey's situation wasn't random, and the people who know the truth aren't talking. The tension around this case keeps rising, and every new detail makes it look like this saga is far from over. As investigators kept digging, they started noticing something even stranger. Every person tied to Big U's old operation suddenly began distancing themselves like they were trying to erase their past overnight. People who used to brag about being connected were now saying they barely knew him, and some folks even left the city for a while just to stay off the radar. Meanwhile, people close to Baby Huey started revealing that he had been dealing with pressure from all sides in the weeks leading up to the incident. Some said he was moving through LA with a different energy, trying to prove he wasn't just Big U's son, but his own boss. A few insiders claimed he was stepping into rooms where people didn't want him, and that created silent tension nobody warned him about. Detectives also pulled up phone records and noticed several unusual calls between people linked to weed shops, Big U's old business partners, and even folks tied to rival cliques. None of them talked to police afterward, which only made the situation look even more suspicious. Some detectives believed these calls were about money disputes that had been boiling for years and finally erupted now that Big U wasn't around to control the flow. There were also whispers that Baby Huey had gotten into an argument days before his situation happened, something involving territory, money, and people feeling like he was stepping above his rank. One source said he thought he could take the whole lane by himself, which added a whole new layer to why people were acting nervous. But the most chilling detail came from someone who said Baby Huey had been warned more than once that certain folks wanted him to chill out and stop drawing attention. According to them, he brushed it off and said he wasn't scared of anyone, telling friends, "I ain't backing down from nobody," which may have made everything even more dangerous around him. By this point, police believed the situation was way bigger than one night, one argument, or one location. This looked like the result of years of tension, old alliances breaking apart, and new players trying to take control while everything around Big U's empire was falling apart like a house of cards. Dude who ran everything said Big U was putting heavy pressure on people when he was free, and a lot of folks were too scared to push back. But the word on the streets is that Baby Huey might have gotten caught up because he pressed the wrong people at the wrong time and stepped into a lane that was way too hot. Some even believe Baby Huey's situation could be tied to old tension surrounding Nipsey Hussle. There's a group of people who think Big U played a part in the drama around Nip, and now they're saying federal agents might reopen the investigation even though they already charged Eric Holder for what happened that day. What really twists the whole story is how people compare the Big U and Nipsey tension to what happened with Ray Sean in the Mojave Desert years. Before all this, Nipsey dropped the track Victory Lap, and on the song he said, "Andra, you got an L, but got an E for effort, stretched him, dropped him off, left him in the Mojave Desert, then left him." Fans swear the timing and the lyrics line up too perfectly with Ray Sean's situation, making the whole story feel even more eerie. Nobody knows who targeted Baby Huey, but another Rollin' 60s member named 600 publicly called out Big U's people for not standing up for him. 600 and Big U already had tension way before Big U got locked up, and before he turned himself in, he said 600, Loose Cannon, and Whack 100 were spreading lies about him, claiming that's why he got charged in the first place. 600 probably isn't going to take action for Baby Huey's situation, but the streets are saying anything could happen next, especially if Baby Huey really was betrayed by people from his own section. Like the rumors claim, there's a lot of silent tension and unfinished business floating around, and everyone in LA feels like something bigger might still be on the horizon. If you made it to the end, show some support. Hit that like, drop a comment, share this story with someone who follows LA street politics, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. See you on the next video.